Hi friends, I'm here today to introduce a call for a new care group, one that's meant to treasure this sacred garden space and all who have and will call it their home away from home. In 2008, I called the Sacred Garden Focus Group. During these past 13 years since then, we've developed most of the garden structure. But now I'm feeling a tap on my shoulder from God, a call to make this focus group a care group. Anyone may still work in the garden, and we joyfully welcome you. Yet, some gardeners may also hear God's call and join me in focusing our hearts on the disciplines and a spiritual path that includes the sacred garden. I believe that God is in all things and that by working in a garden, we are laboring along with the Creator. I believe God is calling us to use our energy, creativity, and skills to work alongside other gardeners to maintain and improve the sacred garden. The beauty of gardening is the delight of seeing a plant bloom. This happiness multiplies when it brings joy to another person. Therefore, the hard work of gardening has a holy benefit. It's the same as a carpenter or an artist or a firefighter who loses oneself in the hard work and finds God in the process. This is what the sacred garden is about to those who work the soil. We will devote ourselves to tending the garden by doing the following things. Number one, we'll be a steward of the earth by using our garden rubbish in compost piles, and the compost will feed plants by choosing drought-tolerant species which offset the effect of climate change, and by planting different ground covers, not only to enrich the design, but to keep moisture in the ground without using mulch. By providing an expanding habitat for birds, we help stem the loss of diversity. Bringing more birds into the garden helps keep our ecosystem in balance and keeps the garden healthier. Where fish swim among lilies, both keep the pond cleaner. Where children can grow plants with the guidance of the Sunday school teacher, where they feel at home, enjoy themselves, and learn about the earth. Number two, be a place where visitors gather to walk alone, with their dog, with a friend, where they sit on benches alone to meditate, pray, or enjoy the scenery, where they walk the labyrinth and spend time to record their thoughts in our notebook, which is found in the brochure slot under the bulletin board, where friends meet or new friendships begin. For visually impaired visitors, we can offer plants that elicit pleasing aromas, birds that sing, and sounds of the bees that are busy gathering nectar. Number three, be a place where events happen, such as worship services, memorial services, gatherings, parties, weddings, pet blessings, recitals, plays, and more. And number four, be an oasis of hope, respect, inspiration, love, and caring, reflecting the values of the church we represent and treasure, a place where someone who is grieving may sit where their loved one's ashes are buried. It's a place where you can see folks express their gratitude by adding a note on the gratitude tree, where a small sign on a tree or shrub speaks of love, loss, and honor, where gardens become theirs. It becomes an open invitation to all who pass by. The co-creativity of God's work beacons to everyone to be open, to unfurl and spread God's love beyond, where all manner of good and mercy happens because we have created a sacred garden. And so I call this care group into existence, tending to the sacred garden. We will meet weekly from March through November to work in the garden for 1.5 hours. This is where we will establish our inward journey, sharing while we work together. For our outward spiritual journey, we'll concentrate on tending to the plants, the garden space, and visitors. We'll answer questions, listen to the visitors' stories about their old gardens and their families, their lost spouses, their children, and pets. We will be open, willing to listen to them, their suggestions, and wisdom. Tending to our neighbors also will mean to give them privacy, to chat with others, or just be quiet, meditate, walk the labyrinth, and pray. At Barn Workday, twice a year, we'll help shepherd people working in the garden to understand and support our vision. To sum it up, our purpose is to tend to the sacred garden and to provide a place of quiet and beauty that offers hospitality and peace, as well as nurturing each other. It's an extension of our church in an outdoor setting where we can meet ourselves, our neighbors, and God. We honor the earth and wish to garden organically. We wish to garden in a way that keeps in mind climate change, making sure we choose plants that will thrive. We strive to be environmental stewards of the land we tend. We welcome anyone who hears God calling them to this ministry. We also invite any who just want to work in the garden or tend to the bird feeder or other efforts to support the call of God to create connections to the sacred garden. So that's the call. It seems that this is the perfect time of year for this call to emerge. Even though it's winter, the days begin to grow longer now. The bulbs planted in the ground grow a larger and deeper root system, and this brings on chemical changes that prepare the bulbs for the growing season ahead. The same is true for this care group. We'll begin a year listening to each other, as well as planning for a year in the garden. I'd like to close with a quote from Psalm 125, verse 4, from Psalms for Praying by Nan C. Merrill. As each flower in its uniqueness blesses the garden, the interconnectedness of all brings it to fulfillment. Amen.